Now, six sense basis and six sense object is actually another way we can see is actually is 18 elements, right? Because based on internal base, based on the external base, which are the cause, then we got the result. So this I explained in the previous week. So then go for the last one, right? So previously, we are talking about the purpose is to, for the 18 is to eliminate the perception of soul in consciousness and try to see the impermanent suffering and non-self. Now, there are a few ways we can see condition. One is through the patana. That is for those who are familiar with Abhidhamma knowledge and who are have high wisdom, I would say. Because in many sutta, it didn't say that we have to see in this way. All right. So this for those who are very high in wisdom and who are familiar with the patana. Now, in most of the sutta, it actually it, it tells us to see only in this way, like this one. I visible data, and I questions arise due to I visible datum, light and attention. So you can find this kind of teaching in many sutta as preached by the Buddha. So I think we should contemplate this way rather than patana. So in summary, you need to have few causes, few conditions. Now, when we say the word sankhara, sankhara means conditions, phenomena, or formation. It does not come because of one cause. It comes because of many, many conditions. So we need internal base, we need external base. Now, external base is actually, the meaning is just an object. Right? So this is a previous notes. So we got the eye, for example, eye is internal base. That means that your retina, eye sensitivity, you need the external object, visible object, and you need light as a medium, and you need attention. Then the result will be two eye consciousnesses. So this uh, should be the way we contemplate, because this is a Dhammanupassana. In the four foundation mindfulness is preached as a Dhammanupassana. Now, how are we supposed to contemplate this? So first way is get all the conditions, then we can see the result. If missing one of the condition, we cannot get the result. Okay. Now try, let's say now you see me, now I'm your visible object. Now if you close your eyes, this means that there's no light. Then you cannot see me because there's no light. What if also another one? There's an eye, there's a visible object, there's a light, but at the time there's no attention. So maybe at the time you are busy thinking about something else. So whatever appear in front of you, you will not be get to know it, right? So that's how why people, when they lack of mindfulness, they can be car accident. Even they are walking around with a handphone, they are bump against people, they bump against the traffic light, the traffic poles, and so on. So we should see all these conditions. So previously I talked about this. Now, the idea of soul or self. Now, what is soul? What is self? Okay, now like one thing about the idea of soul and self in Buddhism is different from Hinduism. Like Hinduism, they believe the soul. The soul is permanent entity. When pass away, the soul will unite with the great Brahma. So in fact, they say the human beings is a part of the great Brahma coming down from the sky. So that's a Hinduism idea about soul. But most people will believe soul is something that stay inside the body. So sometimes they believe at night it will travel outside. That's the idea. Sometimes that's what they call astral travel, right? But there's another idea. They say soul means consciousness. Okay, that is why we need to see all the 18 elements. All this consciousness is not soul because they arise when they are conditioned. When there are no condition, then the consciousness, corresponding consciousness, will never arise. Now, if we say something as soul, this means that it will be there all the time. But since soul will not be there all the time, I consciousness, all this will arise when only condition. So that's a Buddha teaching. No? In fact, when you sum up the Buddha teaching, what I'm trying to see, it just cause and effect. Our whole life, this nama rupa, mind and matter, it's just a series of cause and effect. The mind and matter, sometimes the mind leads, sometimes the body. Like body want to, when you drink lots of water, the body, there's an urge want to go to toilet because the urine make the body send the signal to the brain that you need to go toilet. Sometimes the body leads, sometimes the mind leads. Sometimes the mind desire want to eat, then after that the series of action, the body. So the mind lead, the body comes later, right? But that's why you should see Namarupa at all time. Try to get rid of the idea of soul or self. Even some people would think that soul or self is a consciousness. The I see something. It's not the I only. It's the consciousness, it's the soul that sees something. Like the soul inside you, the soul go and see something. The soul, this I, this self hear something. This I, this self smell something. This I, this self taste something. That's how people we call it the non-enlightened one. Now you should see is Namarupa. So this week, these are not in your notes. So these I just typed in last week. So, okay, I think some of you written already by hand. Namarupa. So we should see at present time, not as Nicha, Sukha, not as Nicha, Subha, Sukha, Atta. Right? So the Visuddhimagga also say this one. So we should see everything as Anicca, Dukkha, Anatta, Asubha. So these are not in the notes. It's added on. So we should see everything as impermanent, suffering, non-self, and not beautiful. Now, how do you see this? That's the question here. How do you see impermanent? So impermanent, we should practice, especially with the sound. When you hear the sound, then the hearing consciousness or ear consciousness arise. Then it disappear very fast. Why? Because the sound give impact on the ear, so it disappears. So we can see impermanence very, very fast. And we can see whatever impermanence is not satisfactory, or sometimes we use the word dukkha, or so sometimes the English unsatisfactory. Okay. Whatever impermanent is not good, it's not something that is satisfied to us. Okay. Another way is how to say dukkha. Dukkha means sometimes you see, our eyes see bad things, car accident, we see blood, we see maybe dead body of the mouse or whatever, right? So the object, the bad object, so the mind tend to sometimes see the bad object. So this is suffering. And non-self is like what we say. So everything is just cause and effect. Based on conditions, then there will be result. If there's lacking of one condition, then there will be lacking of result. So this shows that there's no self, no soul that in us that control everything. And Asubha means the body. If we really can control the body, so how come the body will get aging? The body will get sickness. The body have, you need to go to hospital to see the doctor. That's why sometimes we say, we work so hard just to give donation to the doctor at the end of our life. It's true, you know. I mean, if we really can control our body and mind, especially our body, do we need to see doctor? Even doctor, they will die. If all the doctor they manage to fix all the problem of human body, then how come the doctor are not they will not live forever, eternally? They also will pass away one day. My previous meditation teacher, before he became monk, he was a quite famous skin doctor. You know, he Saido Dr. Sunanda. So he said even he has some skin problem. He said even he himself as a skin doctor cannot cure his skin problem. This kind of thing. So it showed that anatta and asubha. Okay, so that's how we should see it. Not only in meditation, we should see all these 5 aggregate, 12 bases, 18 elements. Try to see anytime, everywhere, all the places or all the occasion as anicca, dukkha, anatta. Yeah. And the idea is to get rid of the perception of soul. So finally, number 5, these are not in the notes. To get rid of the perception of soul, soul or self, atta. All right. Now, any question on this one before I continue to the next chapter? Any question? Right. Now, actually, vipassana means just to contemplate namarupa at the present time. Of course, if you can, you also can think about all the past namarupa or the future namarupa. All these are also anicca, dukkha, anatta, supa. Right. So we should start basic as namarupa. So you should train yourself, familiarize yourself with namarupa, mind and matter. Then gradually, when you're more skillful, you go for 5 aggregates. So I already mentioned about 5 aggregates. After that, you are more skillful, you go for 12 bases. So after that, you are more and skillful, you go for 18 elements. So when you be able to see 18 elements, that means that your mind is a very good. Try to understand the non-self or non-self or non-soul. All right. Okay, I think most of you have copied already. All right. Any question before we continue? All right. So that's the purpose of trying to practice the 18 elements. Because if not, why do you need to practice 18 elements? Why do you need to practice 12 bases? Why do you need to practice 5 aggregates? Why do you need to practice namarupa? That's the reason. Try to see the cause and effect, the sixth sense though, at any occasion, at any time. Okay. I hope you all copy already because I need to continue. Maybe for those not able to copy, you all can take a screenshot or just take a photo. Okay. All right. Now, main thing is to realize this. You can train yourself to, let's say we say 4 conditions. So if like one condition, we cannot see the effect. For example, if there's no light, you cannot have the eye consciousness. Okay. Now, how do we practice this one? Actually, I described on the Friday class last week. Okay, now we can do experiment. Now, when like we doing the standing meditation, all right? Now, at that time, what's the best way to practice? You can practice by seeing and hearing. You practice seeing first, right? Because when you're standing, sometimes instead of closing your eyes, because sometimes when you close your eyes, your mind tend to feel sleepy. So you standing, you open your eye and you see. So you see your object. Then you close your eyes. Okay? Then you close your eye. Open eye, close eye. You see the difference. When you open your eye, you have the seeing consciousness, the eye consciousness. When you close your eyes, there's no light. Then there's no seeing process. Then at that time, you notice that your mind more on the hearing. Okay, so then you practice seeing, you practice hearing, right? Seeing and hearing. Then after that, you combine these two, seeing and hearing. So this one, I hope you all can try. It's actually quite interesting. You seeing and hearing. Hearing is, you notice the ear, the sound, and then the space, then there's attention, right? Then after that, you combine with seeing. All right. So we call it switch the sense though. You hear, you see. You hear and you see. But at that time, you don't use the word I. You use the word seeing, seeing, hearing, hearing, seeing, seeing, hearing, hearing. So when you change the sense though, so you can really see the different consciousness arise. Okay. So after that, let's see. Normally we don't have a smelling consciousness. Then you combine with the body. Body means touching, right? Touching means the body touching the feet, or the feet touching the ground, or you feel the body sensation. So you change to another sense door. So this is called the body door. So you can just the hearing, the seeing, you feel the body touching, touching, touching. You feel the leg heavy, heavy, the body standing, standing, heavy, heavy, standing, standing. Right? So after that, you can combine with previous again. Previous again means you go back to seeing, and then you plus the hearing, or you plus the touching. So in this way, we call it, this is kind of like training. Okay. So you open the eye, you see. Okay. Then you go hearing. Then you go to the body, feel the body. All right. So this is we call it change the sense though. So in fact, you can call it change the sense though, or switch the sense though. There's in Chinese we call it 换根门. Now this is we call it practical training. So all these are just we call it practical training. Now, if you want to do naturally, so you don't need to do it. You just observe any object at any door. Okay, so this is naturally. So you just stand there and then feel the wind touching the body. Then the next moment you feel that the sound hearing. Then the next moment you open the eyes, maybe you see something moving. Then after that, the next moment you feel the itchiness. So you're changing the sense though. Then in this way, you can really see the non-self. You can see the consciousness arise. It's not because you want it to arise. Consciousness arise because due to the object. When the object comes, then the corresponding process on hearing, seeing, and so on will appear. Is it clear on this part?
Teacher,
Yes, Brother Lim, yes.
this is actually for meditation method, right?
Yeah, Vipassana, yes.
Vipassana. So if everybody I think everybody go through this type of method, but I see them, they cannot really have this type of personal experience of it. No, that means they are still practicing for 10 years, 20 years, also the same one. Yeah, how?
All right. So one thing is, okay, that's a good question here. Now we are practicing Vipassana, right? Now, if you want to practice Vipassana, you want to get progress, okay? So if you want to get progress, now how should you do? You need to add in wisdom, right? That's one requirement. So you need to talk with teacher, like now listen to Dhamma talk, add in wisdom and reduce delusion. How to reduce it? Like for example, you say, like just now, okay, don't meditate with the idea of I or mine, right? So when you're meditating, never say I'm walking, I'm sitting, I'm hearing, I'm listening, I am doing this, I'm doing that. So at that time, when you're doing, you just practice on Nama Rupa, mind and body, all right? So whatever you do, you get rid of the idea of I and mine. So you just observe the mind, observe the body. Observe the mind, the body. Even the body you can break down to like 4 great elements or 32 body parts. The more you break down, then you can really let go the idea of this soul, self. So all these are equal to soul or self.
So
Okay?
it means that we are going into understanding the non-self.
Yes,
Is
yes.
it?
Yeah, because ultimately the purpose of meditation is to for those who wish to gain enlightenment. And the requirement to gain the first enlightenment is terminate the Sakaya Ditti, the clinging to personality belief, right? Clinging to this idea, I, self, soul. So how to do that? So you just need to see, add in more wisdom to see all the nama lupa, nama lupa, nama lupa all the time.
But you see, teacher,
Yes.
the thing is, they say, oh, you must have what do you call mindfulness, right?
Sure, yes.
Mindfulness. Then you say, seeing. Then my mindfulness says seeing.
Yeah.
And then I come back, it's still the same thing will appear, hearing, or laboring.
Yeah, yeah.
So it keep appearing, occurring like that, so it never ends.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
right.
how
So
does
at the
this
time,
mindfulness?
you try to see impermanent, right? For example, when we see, okay, on the process of seeing is quite difficult because the object appear there all the time, right?
Yeah,
But is
yeah,
we
yeah.
practice with the hearing. Because why we
Mm-hmm.
practice with hearing? Because the hearing, the sound, everybody know the sound. The sound is not single sound. Even you hear boom, even one boom, there's an echo, the boom. At moment to moment to the sound become softer and softer. So we practice with the sound to get the idea of to get the truth of impermanence. So after that, you are skillful with the sound, then you go for eye or nose, right? So we practice with something easy first. The sound will be easier to practice rather than the visible object, because visible object, they appear there all the time. But I suggest if you want to practice, you don't practice with something like stationary. That means it's not moving. Like you practice with a flower. The flower is not moving all the time. But you go to the natural place, you see the leaf. The leaf, due to the wind, it will be like moving around. It will be actually as a good visible object because it has some motion. Rather than you observe a flower inside your room that is not moving at all. Okay?
Then the other thing,
Yeah.
teacher. So when we go for meditation, so when we sit down, we hear the clock, tong tong tong. Every 15 minutes, tong tong tong. Then my heart begins to feel that, oh, my mind feels, oh, it's 1 o'clock, or it's 2 o'clock, it's three
Yeah.
o'clock. So it does it really attacks, really distract
Yeah.
every.
Yeah.
So how does
Some
this?
meditator like the sound. Some meditator dislike all this talking clock. They find it's
Uh,
very noisy because they
uh,
announce the time, 5 o'clock.
So
Bong, bong, bong,
how
bong.
does
Yeah.
our thought begin to attach to that, and then keep on attaching to it? Finally,
Yeah.
we really attach to it. Oh, you say
Okay.
labor, you say
Yeah, what you do is
cut it off, hearing.
your mind should try to, either if you want to take it as object, so you just observe the impermanence of sound. But if you don't want to take it as an object, you just need to ignore it. Because
Ignore
beside the
it.
sound, yes, there are many things. Sometimes the wind sensation, sometimes the body feels stiff. So you can change the other object. No need to just focus on this object, right?
But the sound keep
No,
coming
at
in
the
until you
time,
are attached to
if
it.
you have aversion
Uh,
to it, you should not aversion.
uh,
If your mind is you like it, you should observe the chitta nupassana, means the mind. You might have an
uh,
attachment to it, so you should contemplate the attachment, the liking, the
oh,
happiness or
yeah,
joy,
yeah,
just whatever appear at the mind level.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
we go for nama, sometimes we go
Uh,
for the lupa, right? Lupa
uh,
means the sound, the ear.
uh,
Sometimes we go to nama. What happened to your mind? Okay, I think you all know
okay.
nama rupa, right? So
Yeah,
we
yeah.
should be more flexible. We should not just look at one object, we should look for another object.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Brother
So,
Jim.
so that,
Yes.
that means we
Yes.
straight away change to our nama, so that we don't want to get
Mm-hmm.
attached to it.
Mm. Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Any other
Okay.
question for other student?
Thank you very much, teacher.
Okay. Okay. So if no question, I will continue with the Indriya, the what faculty today. No question? No, right? Okay. Right. So let me stop this and then continue another one.